Oh, wow, an Agonis burlesque fan. Can you believe it? Agonis. A lot of people confuse this with eucalyptus, which it's not far off because they're kind of in the same family. Agonis is a type of Myrtaceae, which includes eucalyptus and melaleuca. They have these beautiful, highly aromatic, herbaceous fragrance. So super gorgeous. I'm using this greenery, or blackery in this case. Love it. Always comes in this really, really dark, almost black pigment. It's like a deep burgundy, feathery, gorgeous. I'm just using this basically to conceal my mechanics, and I'm going in very sparsely because I need to keep the interior of the vase as open as possible because there are a lot of stems going into this arrangement. And another really great thing, this hydrangea, absolutely mind-blowing. I'm so excited. This was such a pricey cha-ching bunch of flowers. Like, I always say this, I'm gonna have to look at the receipts, but I think I got 20 stems, and they were far more like quadruple the amount that they normally are when they are in season, and almost double the price when you're getting Dutch. So not to be too explicit, but yeah, very pricey stems on these guys, but this budget for this particular arrangement for a super secret celebrity whose birthday I have the privilege and honor of doing an arrangement for the last 4 years. I'm not at liberty to talk about that because it is a gift to them. And so, yeah, the sender basically just requests that I don't talk or mention their name. But it's for a big time celeb, big, huge, like the biggest, hugest celeb. And I just really wanted to make her the Venus arrangement, which is my favorite for edgy women, basically. Women who have a little bit more of a badass side to them, feminine but edgy. That's kind of my descriptor for the Venus arrangement. So this is my over-the-top size for the Venus arrangement, and I'm using basically almost every single stem that's going in here is a premium flower, so best quality AA. That's what the hydrangea was labeled, was AA, double A quality. And it's probably difficult to see. Oh wait, hold on, I gotta say this first. Guys, when you're arranging with amaryllis, really important to remove any of the pollen that are visible, as well as some that are just starting to crack open, because when your clients get their arrangements and there are pollen pods, those will open out and then create a mess. And if they have delicate linens or wood that can easily get stained, that will stain their linens or their woods or any other surfaces that are liable to basically take on that stained color. And it's extremely frustrating. So always make sure to take those off. And then also tell your client in the care, if you're the one delivering it, like, hey, just be mindful if more of these flowers open and there's pollen, please take them off so you avoid any potential damage. So there's that. But back to the quality of the hydrangea. So this was like a double A quality flower, and it was a Dutch product, and flowers in the industry are ranked by quality. I watched a really fascinating video on this at the Dutch flower markets about how flowers are like the quality standards. And what am I trying to say here? Yep, so the quality standards, basically grocery stores get like B and C quality flowers, and that's why they are lower price. All of the flowers that I've put into this arrangement are A quality. We've got peonies, which are out of season, hydrangea, which are out of season. These are all coming from across the world. And in order to create this style arrangement, it's basically necessary. I mean, I use like vivid hot pink peonies and hydrangeas usually in this arrangement. And in the summertime, it's a lot easier to make when you can use, at least in California, our summertime, hydrangea are local. And so they are a lot more affordable, much more pocket conscious, if you will. And also, you can get the antique varieties in summer, which is really fun because then you get the beautiful patinaed, almost like oxidized, leathery petals on them, which is really special. The petals on these hydrangea were enormous. I forgot to take a still of one of the flowers in my hand, but quadruple the size of a standard hydrangea, like if you were, the common white hydrangea, like almost 5 times the size of a white hydrangea petal flower, if you will. So the way that I've designed this arrangement, normally when I'm making these pave arrangements, I don't go in with any sort of greenery to set it up because those stems take up precious real estate inside the vase, and it can create difficulty getting all of the stems in later in the arrangement. So I thought the agonis would be perfect, A, because it's black and will create a nice black shadow on the inside of the vase so that when you turn the arrangement or you look at it in certain positions, you're not going to see through to the other side. That would be what I call hiding the mechanics. And it worked out really well for this arrangement, and I think I would definitely continue to use that greenery for that purpose in the future because it has a great fragrance, it's black, and the stems are extremely thin. So while I was able to create like a dark shadow on the inside of the arrangement, which would conceal the mechanics, it also didn't take up that much space inside the vase. Win-win all around. This amazing picketed carnation, I got 3 bunches of this, which was 75 stems, and then I think I had later, I don't know if I've already shown it or not, but I had burgundy carnations as well. I got 2 bunches of those, and 20 stems of this stunning peony. Love it. I'm putting about, here's the burgundy carnation. Just thrilled about it. It perfectly matched that amaryllis. I wish the amaryllis were a little bit more open because I had difficulty getting those into the arrangement in imagining the shape that they would be. And I know that they were going to open out more, so I tried to arrange them into this arrangement in a way that would account for the space that they would open out into, which is one of the most challenging things I think about creating this style arrangement, this really dense pave style arrangement, because basically what you see is what you get. Whereas with loose style arrangements, you have wiggle room. And with this, you don't. Everything is extremely precise. Even the way that I am measuring the stems as I'm designing the arrangement and how I place it down into that chicken wire grid really is almost like a balancing act. Every single stem that I'm putting into the arrangement, I am calculating and measuring in my mind. I know the dimensions of the vase, I know the dimensions of the arrangement that I'm making, and so I basically in my mind say, okay, I'm going to put this stem in at a 45-degree angle, and I need for it to go at least halfway down into the arrangement. And here the arrangement is already at 17 inches, so I'm going to add an additional 4 to 5 inches. So just to give you some insight to the design process, when I'm making this style arrangement, every single stem is highly edited and also calculated for the particular dimensions of what I'm making every time. And I'm also thinking to myself as I'm designing it, okay, this is going to go in at a 10-degree angle, which is almost horizontal. It's not 0 degrees, but you know what I mean. Basically, we're thinking in terms of angles and length. So that is, again, another difficult thing about creating this style arrangement because of the types of blooms that I'm using here. They don't always come in very long stem. That's why this arrangement is a little bit more wide than it is tall. But I've already accounted for that in the design. So that's why I've designed this arrangement in this way, because I know that the stems can only reach a certain height and what will also look aesthetically pleasing. So certain flowers that I can't and won't use in this arrangement, generally speaking, are ranunculus because they're usually pretty short stemmed. I've really never seen them taller than 12 inches. So as I'm shopping for flowers, I'm keeping that in mind. And if you are going to make this size arrangement as well, you're definitely also going to want to keep that in mind. It's extremely important. Otherwise, you won't be able to create this style arrangement. You could do it with all roses. You could do it with just one type of flower. But I really like the hyper textural palette of creating an arrangement that has about anywhere from like 8 to up to like 15 varieties. And that may sound crazy. Most florists would work usually with like, you know, anywhere from like 3 to 5 different varieties plus a couple of greeneries. I just am super maximalist about these arrangements. I like a very dense, hyper textural arrangement. It is so satisfying. And I know when I'm creating these arrangements, I feel like something's off. And then when I just add that extra little texture, that's kind of how I've tweaked this design style over the years. I just go, this just doesn't feel quite right. And the opposite is also true, where I go, okay, this is actually perhaps a little bit too much. And so I remember that for next time. I take mental notes. I say, I had this many varieties. This is the size of the head that I was working with in this variety. These are the variants in sizes of heads. These are the textures that I used. And then I just always keep mental note of that. And that's how I refine my design style over time. And you can do the same. So I hope that little piece of information is super helpful to you. If it was, go ahead and give this video a like. Thank you so much for being here. I hope your holidays were really super special and lovely. Mine were very chill. And I really appreciated having some downtime. New Year's was very nice and quiet. I am ending this arrangement with the most beautiful, I think this is my new favorite, burgundy rose. It's not Black Baccarat, it's called Black Beauty, and it has just the most precious little rose head. It's probably about a quarter of the size of a standard Ecuadorian rose head. So just having that difference in size and shape gives so much more interest to the arrangement. So I just basically dotted this around. I'm obsessed. I'm totally obsessed. This is like my favorite. This is my favorite arrangement to make. If I were to receive this kind of arrangement, I would fall over. I hope that the recipient of this arrangement feels the same way. I hope that she super enjoys these arrangements that I get to make for her. And yeah, obsessed. I mean, would you not just die if you received this? Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you learned something new in this video. I hope that you gleaned new information and that you can take that with you into your own design practice. Make sure to hit the subscribe, the like button, and do all of the things. It really helps this little channel out, and I really look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. And Happy New Year!